In this video, we're going to revise Understanding Business Cycle, that is reading 15 of CFA Level 1 curriculum. The main aspects of this chapter is understanding business cycles and inflation and its factors. So let's get started with business cycle. Business cycle is a fluctuation in economic activity. So business cycle occur by two variables, that is GDP. When the GDP is increase or decrease in GDP has a fluctuation on the business cycle and unemployment factor too. So the business cycle has phases, that is expansion, peak, contraction through. We can observe these business cycles by the graph below. So the expansion phase is phase where there is a growth. You can see here down here, expansion is a phase where there is a high growth and employment opportunities increases and government spending increases, increase in investment and increase in inflation in the expansion phase, that is this region. But later expansion reaches at a peak stage where all of these activities, the growth, employment, spending, investment, and inflation will slow down. And later the at contraction stage, all these activities start reducing, that is growth start reducing, unemployment increases, and government spending reduced, and decrease in investment and decrease in inflation factors too. So when it reaches through or trough, then all these factors also start slows down and starts again expansionary situation, that is the business cycle is a continuous process. Once it reaches expansion, it reaches peaks and then contract and growth and again moves towards expansion, so it's a continuous process. So what is resource use fluctuations? What are the resources which have effect upon the business cycle? So this is an independent factor of business entities and firms. So at expansion stage, the firms produce a huge quantity by using their capacity, entire capacity. So the production increases drastically. But at peak stage, when sales start reducing, the inventory starts summing up. So inventory increases. So this leads to increase in inventory to sales ratio. But at contraction, the company or firm reduces its production to the maximum extent. So when contraction reaches its trough, then it start increasing. It start moving to the expansion phase. So sales start increasing, but inventory deplete. Whatever the inventory present over in the firm has completely depleted. So inventory to sales ratio is low in this case. So how housing sector activities have an impact on the business cycle? So let's understand this. Mortgage rate. When interest rates are low, then people start buying more houses by taking EMIs or home loans. And when housing cost relative to income, when income increases, people start buying more houses. But at some point of time, housing prices increase severely so that people stop buying houses. Speculative activity. People estimate that the housing prices will continuously increase over the period. So the future expectations about the housing price is so high, and the housing prices will increase severely. That result in increase in construction. So the people start increasing house construction severely. So that result in decrease in housing prices. That is what occurred in 2008 economic crisis long back. So demographic factors. When there is an increase in working group population, that is age 16 to 60, then there is high housing sector activities in the cities and main industrial areas. So external trade sector activity. So what are the factors that affect imports and exports? The domestic GDP of country. When GDP of a country increases, the people start importing goods and spending more, and people start importing more. So and also GDP of trading partner. Suppose if the if our country is trading with another country, if there is an if the GDP of the trading country is low, it can't import goods, so that our exports will start reducing. So it also GDP of trading partner will also affect imports and exports of our nation and currency exchange rates. So when the domestic currency is depreciating, then exports increase and imports increase. When domestic currency appreciates, then exports decrease and imports increases. So let's understand what are the different theories of business cycles. So the different theories are neoclassical, Keynesian, new Keynesian, monetary school, Austrian, and new classical approach. Let's start with neoclassical school, where aggregate demand and aggregate supply changes due to change in technology factor. So in this theory, they assume that there is full employment in the economy. Business cycles are the fluctuations, only deviations, temporary deviations, not they will again, if a company reaches its contraction stage, again it will reach expansion stage. What we have discussed earlier in the graph here. So Keynesian school, what the Keynesian school, these people describe that shift in aggregate demand occurs due to expectation of about future growth. So when there is a future optimistic growth and pessimistic growth, when our optimistic growth, where what people think that the GDP of the country will improve drastically in the future, so there is a good growth opportunity in the future. So they overinvest in the they overinvest and overproduce in firms, and when they are pessimistic, they underinvest in organizations and underproduce. So when the situation is against, then that causes a severe fluctuations in the business cycles. So Keynesian theory also says that in order to achieve full employment, the wages will reduce, so that short-run aggregate supply will increase, which will lead to new employment opportunities to the new laborers. So which will lead to full employment. And new Keynesian theory school says that not only wages decrease, but also other input price like as raw material and other input cost also price also will decrease. Monetary school, they says that aggregate demand change occurs due to change in money supply. When the money supply is severe, the aggregate demand will increase, and when money supply is low, aggregate demand will be low. So, and Austrian school says that uh, the fluctuations in business cycles occurs due to the government intervention through monetary and physical policies. So, when when the government thinks that the country is reaching its expansion stage, it start contractionary policy, which will result in fluctuations, that is downturn of business cycles. So they says that the fluctuations in business cycle occurs due to the government intervention. And new classical approach says that by using theory called as real business cycle theory (RBC), which says that technology and external shocks makes the fluctuations in business cycle, and at this situation the policymakers should not intervene in the business, otherwise it will lead to severe fluctuations in earlier. So, and next, unemployment classified to many ways, but frictional unemployment is where employees are seeking towards employment opportunity to his skill and education. And structural employment is due to changes in economy, and cyclical unemployment is due to change in business cycles. So, unemployment rate can be calculated by using number of unemployed by labor force. So, labor force is employed plus unemployment, the total people working, and voluntary unemployment is that people, they are willingly not intended to work. So, participation ratio is labor force by working age, number of people engaged in working activities. So that is the reason. Discouraged workers are those workers who are not seeking employment in the current situation, or maybe in the situation. So they seek employment when there is an expansion in the stage. So let's move on to the next topic, inflation and indicators. So what is inflation? Inflation is an increase in price of goods and services. So when price increases persistently, for suppose let's take an example, the average GDP, average inflation of a country is 6%. When prices increase every year by 6%, the purchasing power of a consumer for money which he has decreases by 6%. Inflation is borrowing favor. I will teach this in later. So let's price increases by 6%. Hyperinflation situation, when there is severe increase in price. So we have expected 6% inflation, but actually it's happening that 8% or more than 6% inflation. Disinflation is that prices increase even in this situation, but inflation is low when compared to the actual inflation, that is maybe 5 or less than 5. Deflation situation, when the inflation rate is negative, that is -2, so it will cause a severe damage to the economy. Deflation. And we will also measure inflation by using different methods, that is consumer price index, where uh, compare the price by using base year quantity, and GDP deflator can also be used in order to compare inflation rate. Sorry, but it is given. Okay, and a wholesale price index method, where we look at the goods whole price as a whole, and a producer price index, where we will look at the index. Wholesaler is of everything, that is raw material work. Here we will have separate look at raw material, work in progress, and finished goods index. And headline inflation is what we compare inflation for all goods produced in an economy. And is uh, core inflation is price index of all goods except food and energy. So we'll exclude food and energy from core inflation, from headline inflation, which we can get core inflation. So because food and energy will be stable even due to business cycles, so we need to compare what is the fluctuations occurring in other goods other than food and energy. And next we move on to the index measures of computing inflation, that is Lashpace and Pash's index method. In Lashpay, we will use formula that is a summation of P1 Q0 by summation of P0 Q0, simply uh, comparing prices of current period with the base year quantity. And in Pash's, we will compare prices with current year quantity. So what is the limitations if we use uh, Lashpay index? That is, our index is biased upward. That is, our index is showing severe inflation than what it is actually. So when we purchase new goods, we purchase new goods which have higher quality. Not only we purchase goods with higher quality, so the price is higher. Not only a new goods, there is a new innovation in the market. So increase in price of good is not only due to inflation, due to innovation or the quality. We prefer better quality than before, so there is an increase in price. And substitution effect will give fixed rates to the existing goods. So the index is biased upward. That is, inflation is actually showing more than what it is in the economy currently. So Pashes solves this to some extent by using hedonic pricing, where adjusting price index for product quality. That is, we are using current production, not the base year quantity. So it will use hedonic pricing where we'll adjust to the product quality to some extent. And Fisher is simply the geometric mean of Lasker as well as Pashes index. So next we move on to the cost push inflation and demand pull inflation. What happens in cost push inflation is the cost of input prices, the cost of raw material, the cost of wages will increase due to increase in input price. The supply curve will shift towards left. See, you can see in the graph the supply curve shifts towards left side. So prices increase when supply curve shifts towards left side. The aggregate demand and meets here, so the prices increases than before, and GDP decreases, and quantity produced in economy also decreases. And so what government can do is government can increase expansionary policy by reducing interest rate, and fiscal policy too by increasing public expenditure and reducing taxes. So the aggregate demand curve will once again move towards rightward and achieving the optimal GDP level, but there's an increase in prices. So demand pull inflation is a situation which occurs when there is a severe money supply in economy. So the public expenditure, that is government expenditure, increases, which leads to increase in exports, and domestic currency appreciates. So the demand curve moves towards right side. So price increases, quantity demanded increases, and GDP increases. You can see in the graph GDP increase from this point to this point. But due to increase in GDP, the wages, the employees start demanding more wages. So the cost of production increases. The short run aggregate supply will automatically move towards right side, which again reaches to the optimum GDP level. So next we move on to the topic of economic indicators. How this is how our firm is reacting, how our firm or our organization is reacting to the changes in economy. Leading indicator, lagging as a coincidental indicator. In leading indicator, our firm changes direction before peak or trough. That is, when there is a fluctuation, we are at here, we change our direction immediately. But in lagging indicator, we didn't change our direction till the economy went downward. But at coincidental indicator, we will exactly offset our match our factors with that of economy factor. So thank you.